We all know that the sun's energy creates heat and light, but it can also be converted to make electricity. Solar power is captured and converted to usable energy with solar photovoltaics or PV panels. Photons, or energy from the sun, radiate out and collide with a semiconductor on a PV panel. Each panel is made up of several individual cells which create an electric field similar to a battery. The photons strike the cell and their energy feeds electrons into the semiconductor. These create an electric current which is harnessed by wires connected to the positive and negative sides of the cell. Many people associate solar with household rooftop panels, but this is not a viable option for over 75% of households. A 2008 study by the National Renewable Energy Laboratory found that only 22 to 27% of residential rooftop area is suitable for hosting an on-site PV system after adjusting for structural, shading, or ownership issues.
There are a lot of people who I come in contact with that are interested, but for some reason or other, it just doesn't work for them. It could be that they can't afford the front-end cost. It could be that they have a roof that just isn't a good candidate.
Community solar typically consists of a large PV installation. Community members can purchase a share to offset their energy bill. This can be viewed as an investment as each shareholder will receive dividends. These installations, called solar farms, may be anywhere there is reliable and plentiful sun. There are several types of community solar which may be operated by government, co-ops, or nonprofit organizations. While there are community solar pioneers across the country, the biggest boom of solar gardens has been in Colorado due to legislation enacted in 2010. The new community solar program was so popular, Xcel Energy sold out 9 megawatts in 30 minutes. This will serve about 4,000 people for the next 25 years. This is more solar than Minnesota has accumulated since 2009. While Colorado has enjoyed great domestic success with community solar, Ontario, Canada has also been making strides towards more energy from renewable sources. SolarShare is a non-profit community solar cooperative in Ontario. Co-op members have the opportunity to purchase $1,000 bonds through the feed-in tariff program. SolarShare functions as a long-term investment rather than a utility credit like we see in Colorado. The feed-in tariff program is run by the Ontario Power Authority and subsidizes solar projects over 10 kilowatts. There are several barriers to implementing community solar projects, most of which are related to technological change outpacing relevant policies and regulations. Community solar projects must follow current federal, state, and local land use regulations, which often restrict the location and size of projects.
In Minnesota, I only know of a couple of places that actually have included in their land use planning the concept of a solar farm.
This impacts the ability of community solar projects to fit well with the current centralized utility billing structure.
The community solar movement, or the community garden movement, is really about removing those kinds of regulatory barriers, creating appropriate structures that capture value so that people can take advantage of this particular resource.
Net metering is sending excess electricity from solar back into the grid and having your electrical meter run backwards. It applies to individual home solar projects, but is currently not available for community solar projects. According to the Securities and Exchange Commission, community solar organizers must take care to comply with both state and federal securities regulation and preferably to steer clear of inadvertently offering securities. In order to see community solar grow here in Minnesota and across the U.S., the utility companies will need to either integrate a new billing system that includes energy from community solar by allowing the shared use of PV systems, or enact legislation that requires utilities to create billing and purchase power from community solar projects.
Solar energy is by far our largest energy resource here in Minnesota, as it is actually in most states.
Drinking the Kool-Aid. Yeah, the solar Kool-Aid. Drinking the solar Kool-Aid.